Hey Geometry, let's go through lesson 10. I love the title of this lesson, Dividing the King's Foot into 12 Equal Pieces. I would love to give you the reason for the lesson, but I don't know. So we're still going to do some constructions today. The first part of your classwork is the opening exercise where it says use a compass to mark off equally spaced points C, D, E, and F so that all the segments are equal in length, and describe the steps you took. If you see here, I grab my compass, I have the pointy end on A, and I measure to B. Then I move my pointy end to B, make a mark, so pointy end, make a mark, pointy end, make a mark, pointy end, make a mark, and pointy end, make a mark. Okay, and then I've got A, B, C, D, E, and F. These are all the same length, and it was really simple to do because I'm making segments, I'm not dividing it. My steps. It's what I said out loud, just written down. Okay, this is where it gets just a tad bit harder. We're trying to divide a segment into 3 equal lengths. And dividing into 3 is hard. If we were dividing it in half, we know how. We would put the pointy end of the compass here and make a mark and make a mark, put the pointy end here, make a mark, then draw a segment through. Okay, we just did a perpendicular bisector, but that's not what we're doing here, so it's a little bit more difficult. The first thing I'm going to do is make this construction line right here. I just drew this construction line straight out, and I picked a point, A1, anywhere on that construction line. Okay, then if you look, I put the pointy end of the compass here and measured it. Pointy end, measure, pointy end, measure. I now have 3 equal segments. Okay, we'll move to the next slide and I'll show you what I do next. Okay, next I just take out my straight edge and I'm making a mark from my 3rd spot down to point B, which was given on the original line segment. Okay, next we are going to use the set square and construct parallel lines. So I already constructed this one just by connecting points. Then I used my set square to make these next 2 lines. And all of these are now parallel to each other. Okay, I just used the side splitter. The side splitter method, which I've got parallel lines, all of these segments are congruent, all of these segments are congruent, and everything is proportional. I now see that all of these segments are congruent. I measured them and they're pretty close and all equal. Now if I go to the classwork, it says that I need to double check everything. So let's see. The instructions said divide segment AB into 3 equal segments, into 3 segments of equal lengths. That's what you see on your sheet. We just want to discuss this a little bit. You know, did we succeed? Yes, we did. We found that they're equal. But let's just double check a few more things. Now, if I want to make sure everything is proportional, I'm just going to do a few more measurements. I can check that AB1 over AB is going to be equal to AA1 over AA3 is going to give me a ratio. So let's highlight this. I have AB1 over AB should be equal to AA1 over AA3. Okay, if you measured these, you would see that. Let me see if I can find my measurements. Okay, I can't find my measurements off the top of in my pile of paperwork. But I measured them all, and I show that they are 1/3. And then I can measure AB2 over AB is equal to AA2 over AA3, and that's going to be 2/3. Let me highlight that for you. AB2 over AB, which is the red one, and AA2 over AA3, and that's going to be a ratio of 2/3. Here we have another example. I didn't take separate pictures of this one because it's pretty simple. I mean, if you look, I made this construction line right here, and then I picked any point, A1. I put it on there, it doesn't matter what it is, and then I measured, you know, pointy end of the compass, measure 2, 3, 4, 5. It doesn't matter how big your distance from A to A1 is, as long as you make the same marks each time. Basically, as long as these segments are congruent, you're good. Then I took my straight edge, connected these last 2 points, and then my set square and made parallel lines. We then know that this segment is separated into 5 equal marks using the side splitter method. Okay, here's a new way to do it, and once you learn this way, you can pick either one as long as the problem doesn't tell you. In the problem set, some problems tell you to use, this is called the dilation method, and the other one is the side splitter method. But let's go through this one. So the first thing that we need to do here is use our set square and just construct a line parallel to AB, which I did right here. So I came down here and constructed a line parallel to AB, just using my set square. Here it is, line parallel to AB. It's actually a ray, you can't see this end of it. And I just made it ray XY. Okay, this Y is almost unnecessary. Okay, then I opened up my compass, and gosh, this tells me to split it into how many different spots? Sorry, 4. So I opened up my compass, and it was a little bit of a guessing game because you need to make sure that, so pointy end mark 1, 2, 3, 4, it needs to be outside of your original line segment, so the length of all of your marks has to be bigger. So if you see, I had to erase it and start over again, but no big deal. You just need to make it bigger, that when you make all of your marks, as long as that last one is outside of your original segment. Okay? Once you've made all 4 of your marks, you have your beginning and your end, and you're just making a dilation. So find your center O, and you're basically close to done. Once you find your center O, you're going to draw rays from O to your congruent pieces. So I've got 1, 2, 3. You have made that into 4 congruent segments. And you'll see on the next slide a little clearer. Okay, there you go. Okay, it's super simple. It's not my favorite because it takes up more paper. You have to plan out your construction a little bit more, but not necessarily difficult. Okay, we're going to do this one as part of our problem set tomorrow. We're not going to do that as part of our classwork today. And your lesson summary. We did 2 methods. Okay, nice work today. It was sort of fun, wasn't it? A little bit easier. Hair, nose. I'll see you guys tomorrow.